Hello, everybody. My name is Jason, and I'm a social skills coach from Boston, Massachusetts. I have my friend Lee Weinstein on this Zoom call with me here, and I wanted to do a quick PSA for those of you who are single, who might still be exploring dating, and especially those of you who are in an intimate partnership right now. There is a bit of new information that's come down the pipeline about the coronavirus and how it's impacting people, and it's something you probably haven't thought of before. uh, I've been teaching social skills, communication, connection for 21 years, and this never even entered my consciousness. So as soon as I heard it from my friend Lee here, I wanted to make sure I passed it along to you. Uh, Real quick, by way of introduction, Lee is an MIT trained engineer and scientist. He's actually taught at MIT for a number of years, and now he runs his own medical device company. He's also written a coronavirus safety protocol document, which I can make available to you somewhere in the description of this video. There'll be a link. But right now, I just want to jump right into it and get to this new information and how about how this virus could be impacting you in any kind of intimate relationship. So Lee, go for it.
Okay, what this concerns is how you initially get the virus. So there was an article in the New York Times, which I'll show you here. Just a second. On April 1st, that was looking at does the initial exposure, the amount of initial exposure, the initial viral dose that you get when you contract the coronavirus, does that have an influence on how bad the symptoms get and potentially whether you die or have to be hospitalized? So this was written by Doctors Rabinowitz and Bartman. And I saw this and it had me think of some social implications that are not in the article. They were looking at implications of if somebody contracts the coronavirus when working in a healthcare situation where you might get sneezed on by somebody and get many more viral particles than you would get if you, let's say, had just touched an envelope that had some of the virus on it and then touched your eye. So they were concerned in the article about healthcare workers. I'm concerned in a parallel way about romantic situations. So I went and I looked for other articles to back this up, and I'll share what I found. So from a couple of days before the, oops, go back there, before the New York Times article on March 27th, there was this article in New Scientist that was looking at whether the initial dose impacts things being worse. And they talked about research that had been done on similar enveloped viruses. So they don't cause all the same symptoms as COVID-19, they're not as bad. So they were looking at flu viruses. And they gave a link to a research study that had been done, which is this one, which is published on PubMed. So this is peer-reviewed research that said, yes, for certain, if you have a higher viral dose initially of the flu virus, you will develop or have a very high chance of developing worse symptoms than if you get a small viral initial dose. So how does this transfer into romantic relationships? Well, if you're in a relationship with someone and one of you contracts COVID-19 and you don't even know you have it yet, maybe you touched an envelope or you touched a shelf in the supermarket or something, and then you touched your eye and it went into your body and it started multiplying, and you happen to be one of the 25 or 50% of people who don't get symptoms, you won't even know you have it. Now let's suppose it's been building up in your body for several days and now you kiss your romantic partner. Well, instead of getting 1 or 2 initial viruses in the corner of your eye or something, your romantic partner could potentially get 10 million viruses from that kiss with you. And that much higher initial dose may lead, it's not known for certain, but I would be cautious and say I would behave as though it's true, that initial high viral dose puts them at a higher risk than you were at when you got the initial low viral dose. And there's 2 ways that you could deal with that. You could either say, well, I'm going to have a pact with my romantic partner that we're going to assume that if one of us gets infected, we're both going to get infected, and we want to get infected at the same time. And since we never know whether one of us got infected or not in the first few days, we're going to make sure that we have some kind of intimate contact every day. So either kissing or having sex or something like that. That would be one way you could approach it. Another way you could approach it is you could say, well, while all this craziness is going on in the world, I don't want to give it to you and I don't want you to give it to me. And so we're just not going to have any intimate contact. So I'm not recommending which of those anybody do. I know there are some doctors that are taking one path and there are some doctors that are taking another path, but you might want to be aware of it. And likewise, if you're contemplating having a first date with somebody right now, when one of you may have the virus and not know it, and you're going to kiss this person, just be aware that there's much more risk of that potentially to their health or your health, depending which one of you gives it to the other, because that high initial dose may put you in a higher risk category. It's not known for certain, but I think the chances are reasonably good that that's true. So you might want to wait a few weeks until testing is available for everybody for free. And then you could both go down to a CVS and get tested and say, oh, neither of us have it. Okay, it's safe. That's it. I just wanted everybody to know about that.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's, you know, it's funny, this never even occurred to me. I never heard of the concept of, was it viral dose or viral load? Uh, is it viral dose or load?
Viral load. Viral load is how much of the virus you currently have in your body. Viral dose is how much of it you first take in. So we're talking about a high viral dose that you would get from a high initial dose that you would get from somebody who already has a high viral load.
Got it. Thank you. So that's it. You know, look, for those of you watching this, I'm not a doctor. Lee's not a doctor. We don't play one on TV. I'm a social expert. And I just, when Lee first told me this and suggested that I might want to share this with my students, I felt a responsibility to share it because this is something that may not have occurred to you. You might be somebody who's like, oh, I feel really healthy. And you're talking to somebody on Tinder and they feel really healthy and they haven't left the house in 3 weeks. Oh, I haven't left the house in 3 weeks either. Okay, we're probably fine. And I just wanted to put this in your ear, give you something else to think about, and ask that you come from the place of being a responsible adult who takes it upon themselves to protect the safety of other people, to protect the safety of your family by not letting yourself take something in because you were feeling lonely or you wanted to connect with somebody or you felt like it's probably going to be fine. Just keep this in mind. Testing should be available soon, I think, rightly?
Well, the governor announced today in Massachusetts that the first CVS to get outfitted for free testing for people just walking in is supposed to start offering that service within a week. Up
Great.
till now, there's been a shortage of tests, and I imagine, it'll be a while, maybe another month until that's really commonly available everywhere.
Got it. Okay. So I hope that this helps you who's watching this. If you know somebody who is being intimate with somebody else, especially if it's a new relationship, or if you know some people who are in a relationship, or you know someone who's actively dating, I would ask that you share this video with them. Our purpose is not to spread fear or to make anybody afraid, but just to give a heads up that this is something that you may never have considered, and it could potentially save your life or the lives of the people that you come into contact with or the people that you share this with. So thank you so much, Lee, and thanks for watching, everybody.